Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. I didn't grab Red, even though I probably should have, just because it's Wednesday, but I don't. I'm running a little late this morning, so I don't have a whole lot of time. So we got the scene to show up, and we determined that we do, in fact, as expected, have um, a scene memory leak, and we know that we were pretty sure we were going to have one because we don't actually have a way to delete scenes. And then something that's kind of becoming clear to me is that, and I kind of had general idea of this, but I didn't. It wasn't super like obvious. But my general idea was that like 3JS doesn't really have the concept of having like two 3JS objects that are identical. Like that are the same object but twice, right? But I want that concept in ST. So like in the ST side, I want to be able to say, hey, I have this scene and I have this camera and I want to show it. But I want to use the exact same scene but this camera. Well, in 3GS side, it's going to have its own set of meshes, its own set of everything for both scenes. But I coded it to where it's like one 3JS object per ST object. So if I have an ST mesh, there's one 3JS mesh, but that's not going to be the case in the future. And how I divide those up, I have no idea. But at least I can visualize it now. And I couldn't visualize it before, but it's very clear to me that at this point. So that's a good thing for me. Um, but it's a bad thing for the project, like I like the idea, but the project's not good. It's not a good idea. But basically the issue that's in front of me right now, that issue is for future me to figure out. And I think it'll be a little bit easier for future me to figure it out than for current me to figure it out, I hope. Um, but um, that is definitely like this mesh could be I could have this is types to an ST mesh, right? So I have this ST mesh and it has an ID of 4, right? Over here, I have this mesh and I don't remember exactly how I have this uh, locked in, but it's tied to ID 4 and I don't even know how to do that. Well, I mean, like how that's all tied together. I think, yeah, because ST mesh over here has a reference. Yeah, I don't even know. ST mesh ID of 4. Yeah, I don't even know how that ties together. I know it does tie together because obviously it does because when you delete one, the mesh goes away. But I think I just have a dictionary that has, hey, for this ID, this is the mesh, but it's not, it's going to be more. I definitely want it to where I can have more than one 3JS mesh for a given ST mesh because I want to be able to show multiple versions of the same mesh in different places. So it's going to be 3 different 3JS meshes. So that's just the reality I'm living in. All right, so let's get to the problem at hand, and that's we need to create a delete. So let's go ahead and just do that. Probably that's all I'll have time to do today. I have a big day today. I have some important PRs in flight, and so the it's time for me. There's certain times that you gotta either step up or shut up, and I guess this is my um, step up time. So a little bit stressed out about it, but nothing too bad. And then this is a 3. Can't remember what it is, like how I'm doing that. Oh, okay, yeah, it's a 3 scene. And I think there's only like a I think there's only one kind of scene of 3 scene. So like for cameras, there's more than one kind of camera, but for scene, I believe there's only one scene. And then we're saying, hey, if the scene exists, right? Like, why would you delete it if it doesn't exist? Okay, it doesn't look like, I don't think I'll need to do that. And I don't think I'll need to do that. Okay, yeah. So that whole thing is just specific to render. And see, that's a perfect example of like something that you probably would have I guess we don't even need this, right? So like the scene, we could have said, "Oh, I'm going to abstract this away because they all have a delete, blah 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 blah." But all of a sudden, like render needs to do special things. Pretty sure material needs to do certain things. Like there's specific things, and I'm not aware of those. I'm not like an expert, expert in Three.js. But okay, so now we have our delete scene by ID, but we don't. So now we want to go to our ST scene. ST scene. These are services, yeah. So we want to go to our scene and we want to go to our scene service. And then there's probably a delete in here, right here. And so boom. Probably before we do our recycling of the scene ID, we want to, so let's make this a 3. Make this a //2. 2. Delete the 3 scene. And then we have this dot scene service. And I think I just call it scene service over here. And then delete scene by ID. And then we just want to pass it our st scene ID. I think that should do it. Add viz. Something break? Nope. Okay. Go to our 3. See, we have our scene. Go here. Delete. And done. And it's gone. It was all done. So we are all done. We are functionally complete. What took a week, maybe even 2 weeks to do for camera, the very first one, took 12 minutes, 13, 15 minutes total coding, talking out loud 2 weeks later. So look, that massive increase in velocity, but it's over, right? The bubble is popped. It's over. We're done. We're going to finish up unit tests, finish up end-to-end tests, and then we're starting from scratch again, and then the slow grind starts up again, trying to figure out exactly what to do. And that's the reality. And this whole thing of velocity just forever getting faster and faster out through infinity is just insanity. It's completely delusional. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.